Ta-da! Yeah.
Yeah.
Hello. Are we? What do you see, sir?
My computer moving slow. I can't say yet.
You can't say it.
Yeah.
Oh, I see us on. Okay, I can see us on.
Instagram and YouTube.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I think we're good on both.
I
Oh,
bet.
I see Instagram just popped up.
Yeah. Okay. Perfect. Well, hello. Happy Tuesday, everyone. Welcome to the Tit for Tat podcast. My name's Carolyn. I'm one of your hosts.
I'm Jay Moore and I'm the tip for tat, and she's the tip for tat. We got my home people, my homeboy, my home girl, Tiffany, and motherfucking Eddie. We're gonna do this tip for tat thing. Where are my tip for tat? Because we are here and we are ready to go. What's up?
Woo!
Yeah.
I
That's
missed
amazing.
that. Okay, Jay, you gotta scoot back some.
Okay.
I might have to change the screens.
Yeah. He flexed on her. I love
Can you
it.
stay right there?
He flexed
you
on
stay-
her.
Really? Can you stay right there, please? Oh my God, you're such a one.
Yo. You about to have so many women viewing right now. It's
Why
like,
are you so petty right now at this moment? I can't, and I won't. Okay, let me. Okay. Anyway,
Next. Let's go next. Sorry.
Oh,
no, that's fine. If my team was in it, I would probably be doing the same thing. So shout out to the Knicks.
they about to have a whole parade if they win this.
Bro,
It's
I don't
gonna be
think y'all
crazy.
understand. That's why the league needs New York winning. Because
Man, you would have asked me in April, I would have said Celtics all day. I mean, now it's looking crazy, but that's not right.
bruh,
They can come back.
I mean, you know,
only on a rerun.
Only on a rerun. They done.
They done.
Oh.
You down 3-1 with no Jason Tatum. You done.
What happened to Jason Tatum?
Towards Achilles last night at the end of the game.
Yeah.
Wow.
And
I've literally watched 0 playoff games. I did much better last year with the playoffs, but this year I've watched bits and pieces.
Terrible.
I tried to watch the game on Sunday. I was excited because I was hanging out with Mom, and I was like, "Oh, we can watch the game," but it wasn't. We both fell asleep. It wasn't even like a game. It's like, okay, this is not even worth watching at this moment. Anyway, I'm excited to get into this topic tonight. I know we were supposed to have it last week, and I was way more fired up about it than I am now because I was mad and I had my own personal experience I wanted to talk about, and I'm still going to do that tonight. But topic of this show is, do men even really like women? We've seen a lot of chatter online about this topic lately, and I have some mixed feelings about it. It's so crazy to be like, men don't like women when men do everything behind a woman. So it's just like, how can we say something like that knowing the lengths that men will go to behind women? But some would say that it's mostly lust driven and mostly I don't want to be alone driven. So I think we're going to get into that. But first, a personal experience of mine. Yes, because I clearly was talking to a guy that hates women. A couple of weeks ago, I posted on my personal page a text message from a gentleman who, well, I can't even call him a gentleman because he's obviously not. From this guy, and I wanted to share it again and give you guys a second to just read over it real quick. And then I wanted to give some context as to what the situation was when this guy sent this text message. So I'm going to share. Can we see it?
We can't. I don't think they can. Hold on. I'm trying to see. Everything on my computer is still coming up.
Yeah, I mean, there's a delay on IG, so I want to see if it will actually pop up here before I continue on. I certainly don't want to have to read it, but I might have to read some parts of it actually.
Yeah.
Um, or highlight some specific lines to read back just so I can share the depths of said person's anger. And I mean, I think really when you guys hear the background story, it'll be interesting. It's not
Mm-mm.
it's not coming up.
Do you use the share link?
Dang, I'm sharing it in the I'm sharing it. Dang it.
You may
Yeah.
have to read it, Sean.
You said what? Yeah, I'm gonna definitely have to read it. That's fine. I will read it. So basically, let me give you I'll read it everything, but first let me give context. Okay. So I met this guy. I was actually out with Tiffany. Do you know who sent me this? So I was actually at dinner with Tiffany. You know those guys that we met at Eddie V's
Mm-hmm.
at the bar when we went?
Yeah.
The one that I exchanged numbers with, that's who this text message is from. So yeah. So we're at Eddie V's and there was this guy there and we
Eddie
just,
V's in Virginia?
Yeah.
yeah. And so he was just sitting next to me and so we just started talking. And then come to find out that he knew some other people that like Tiffany knew or whatever. And so it was kind of like we're just all talking, hanging out. By the end of the night, like it was like, okay, well, do you want to exchange numbers? I was like, fine. Now, let me just preface this by saying, physically, he's not my type, but I get so much heat for focusing on looks that I am trying to think outside the box and kind of like be less picky as far as looks are concerned. So old me, this isn't even somebody I would have given my number to. Okay. But new Carolyn is like, he's nice. Conversation. He was cool. He was a cool dude. And he wasn't ugly at all. He just wasn't physically what I like. So we'll start there. Okay. We exchanged numbers. And then we're talking probably within the first few days of us talking, just on via text message. We didn't talk on the phone for like 2 more weeks, but
Damn.
he had said some like interesting things about women, right? Some things along the line of like women are all women want money or something like that. So he handles divorces.
Oh.
And so I think that he sees some ugly behavior from women, like in his cases or whatever. And I think that that's built some mistrust. And then this is all speculation, but he just early on made like kind of like disparaging comments about women that I didn't like. And it was kind of like instant red flag for me. But at the same time, I was just like, well, whatever. I wasn't taking him too seriously. I wasn't reaching out to him. I was really just responding to his efforts to get in touch with me. So it wasn't really like I cared like that. But I should have. So fast forward to a couple of weeks later, we start actually talking on the phone. And he starts talking about like we're digging into like our background a little bit. And he's talking about like some of his past relationships. And again, he's talking so terrible about these women. And then he's talking about all these women that he's been with and that he lost all this money with the last girl that he was dealing with and all of these negative things, right? And so I step in because I'm like, why are you talking like this about women? I said, I don't like that. I think that's ugly. And I feel like if I were to move forward with you, you would talk about me that way, or you would speak to me in that manner, the way you talk about other women. And he was like, so then he got immediate defensive and he was like, I don't talk to you like that. I don't treat you like that. Why are you worried about the way I talk to or talk about other women? That right there, again, was like, what do you mean? That should have been a red flag. So we started to like bicker, and I'm like, I don't even know you like that to be bickering with you like that. I don't care, like whatever. And so I just stopped talking to him. I just got off the phone.
Damn.
Probably like 3 days later, he ends up texting me again and talking, and we're having a normal conversation at this point. And I have like really not even thought about our conversation again until then. And so he's like, oh, I really like you, all this kind of stuff. And so I'm telling him, like, I've already noticed several red flags with you, and I haven't even spent any time with you. So I don't think that this is going to be a good fit. And right. He sends me a long, so I basically am trying to shut the whole thing down. He sends me this long paragraph text, plural, breaking down that I'm a man hater, that I don't, I don't trust men. I'm a man hater. He used that repeatedly. He's like, you need to get over your past. He didn't tell me to get hit by a bus like he did in this text message, but he said,
read the text message.
he said something. This is the second mean text message. The first time was when I tried to just cut him off completely and was like, this is not going to work, and I'm not about to be wasting my time or yours. And I tried to do it real respectfully, and I didn't even, this is how I know I've grown, because I didn't even get pulled into the rant back and forth. Like, he was being disrespectful, but I didn't even get pulled into it. I just let him rant. And then when he was finished texting and he got it all out, I thought, I just responded, okay. And I was done with it at that. And then the next day, I look in my IG, and so he's continued his rant on my social media page, because I didn't think like to block him or whatever. I just thought I would never hear from him again, and it was fine. So whatever. So that happened. So then it's kind of like,
now I gotta go to his Instagram.
I'm not gonna put him. I should, but I'm not. I'm not gonna put him out there. I lost my train of thought. Oh, so he was messaging me, and again, I didn't indulge in it. I let him have it. I'm like, okay, cool, fine, whatever. Like, I'm not gonna justify this. I know that this is not something that I want to move forward with. Blase, whatever. So then that's it. And so then nothing for like 2 or 3 weeks, like nothing. And I thought nothing of it because I never cared anyway. But then he texted me randomly, and he was, started out being all nice. Hey, how are you? Whatever. Then he starts talking about how he misses me and stuff. And he asked me if I miss him. I'm like, no, like, I don't understand what this is about. And I try to explain to him, like, I don't want to have anything to do with you romantically, and not even as a friend, because last time you spoke to me, you spoke in a mean way. And he was like, well, I don't like being swerved. I'm like, I didn't swerve you. I directly told you that this isn't going to work. And this is the example why, because of how you're acting right now. So he gets mad again. And then I was just like, okay, I'm not doing this. Bye. And then I hung up, right? That's when this text message came. So I'm going to read it so everybody can hear how mean this guy was in his text message.
Wow.
He goes, call me. And I don't respond. And then he's like, don't ever fucking call me again.
Damn.
Then take your man-hating ass on somewhere. Enjoy the plans. Okay, context about that. That's because when I was talking to him one time before, we were talking about this very thing, how there seems to be a lot of men who are like very mean and like who don't actually like women. And then they go online and they talk about how all these women are going to die alone with cats or whatever. And he was like, cats or plants or something like that, and it was like a joke. So that's where the plants came in. And so then he says, I cannot deal with someone who takes no accountability for their words or actions and blames everyone else for their problems. You need to grow up. And I was like very baffled by this part of the text message completely, because I'm like, what problems have I blamed or even told you about that I have? Like, I just didn't understand. Like, that just was like completely made up. I really don't understand the context of that at all. And then he says, bitches like you irk me. So now, just 2 weeks ago, you were talking about, I don't talk to you like that. I'm always nice to you, blah, 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 blase. Yeah, that's because you're trying to get my pants and I don't want nothing to do with you. But the minute I let you know I don't want nothing to do with you, now your feelings hurt and I'm a bitch. Okay, cool, whatever. This is the last convo we will ever have. Fuck off. I hope you get hit by a bus. Maybe it'll knock some sense into your dumb ass.
Damn. Damn, my man is wilding.
Somebody else, you get hit by a bus.
No, what if I really did get hit by a bus? That is so terrible. Like,
damn.
So many questions here. Like,
it's so fucked up, you gotta laugh. Like, who says that?
Right.
Grown ass man. But first of all, like, why are you so mad? Like, what are you so mad about? We haven't known it. We have not. We've only talked on the phone. We hadn't even gotten to like FaceTiming yet. Like we only were talking on the phone and texting. We had not spent any time together. We had not seen each other. We had not had sex. Like none of that. So like in my mind, I'm like, why are you so angry to begin with?
I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna start off like this, and I promise you, the older I get, the more I appreciate the time that I did come up, right? Because I think my generation of men are the last of the Mohicans as far as understanding and appreciating how to get with a woman. But there's a flip side of that. Also being rejected by a woman and keeping it pushing. I've said this plenty of times on this podcast. My old teacher used to tell me, man, listen, if you holler at 5 and you get 1, bro, you bat 200. That in some instances, in some years, you an all-star in baseball. Them like basically what they're telling me, rejection is part of the game. Like there's like it ain't, and some of it, most of it ain't even about you. It could be bad timing. It could be she just got a relationship. She could be just don't want to deal with it. It could be anything. And the biggest part is she has that right.
Right. And that's the thing. And it's funny to me because I felt like he was probably feeling so upset because I rejected him. But he's the same person also used to brag on the phone about all the thousands of women that he's been with. So
and see, that's a dead giveaway right there.
How so?
No real nigga that gets women, brags about getting women.
Okay.
Because what's understood ain't gotta be said.
I agree.
I'll say this, right? I got a bunch of friends that I hang out with, attractive guys, very, very personable, correct, charismatic, this, that, and the third. And I'm the shortest probably out of everybody. Now, and I know for a fact that these guys attract women like flies to shit. Not one time in the 20, 30 years I've known these men, have they ever been like, yeah, I pull bitches, shit. What? What are you talking about?
Especially at our age, like first of all, and then again, and like just thinking about it now is like no one, like I can't believe that he was so shocked that I didn't want anything to do with him based on the things that he was saying coming out of his mouth about other women. And even like that, because like I really felt like turned off by that. Like you've been with thousands of women. What makes you think I want you touching me? Like,
Which is another reason why you don't fucking say shit like that, because now you're making this woman feel like she's not special.
Yeah. No, he was trying to act like I was though, and that's my thing. And then the whole thing started to piss me off. Now that I think about it, where I'm getting mad again, because it's like. Because like why we're too old for this. I was just as honest and open as I could possibly be. I didn't try to like I did call him like a dick a couple times because of the way he was talking about other women.
You called him what?
I would call him a dick. Like he was that you're being a dick, or that was a dick move. I have said things like that based on what he has told me that he has said or did to other women. But he would always follow that with, but I don't treat you like that. You know, I don't move with you like that. Do you know how much pussy I've been turning down since I've been talking to you? Yeah. That's another thing that came out of his mouth. And I'm just like,
you a damn liar.
I'm not lying at all.
No, he's lying. Like nobody says that.
I'm not lying.
Nobody says that.
So these are all the things that he's saying to me. And I guess somehow in his mind thinking that those are things that are going to make me be like, oh, he's changing for me, or oh, he doesn't talk to me like that, or oh, he's turning down women for me, and all of these things. And then, oh, another thing, one day he shared his location with me, and I'm not a share your location type of person. I don't really know how to use it. I know my sister has my location, and that's all I know about sharing location. And I know couples do it, or there's like, should we be sharing location, whatever. So he shared his location with me, and he brought that up. He said, I shared my location with you. You think, he was like, I do these nice things for you, and you don't even acknowledge them. And in my mind, I'm like, I don't even, how am I supposed to feel about the fact that you're sharing your location with me? I guess he was sharing it so I would know where he was, but nigga, I'm not checking where the fuck you at. I don't care. So why would I need your location? Like, I don't understand.
Is he younger than you?
Huh?
Is he younger than you?
A little bit, but not that much. He's like 3 years younger than me.
How old was that?
41.
Yeah. I'm a firm believer. It's a generational thing, right? I firmly believe there's a generation of men and younger that don't understand and can handle rejection. Point blank, bottom line. It's just they don't know or they never had to. I told you. I think I said this before. There's a crazy statistic. There's men 18 to 25. 52% of them have never been on a date.
Mm.
Do you understand how crazy that is?
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
In your prime years of interacting with the opposite sex, and remember, 18 to 25, you're in college.
Mm-hmm.
If you're able to afford it, right? But you're mainly in college where there is literally a group of women waiting to be asked out on a date.
Yeah.
And you didn't ask out any woman on a date in 4 fucking years, 5 years. What the fuck are we talking about? So in that spirit, you got men going into their late 20s, early 30s, asking women out on a date for the first time.
Mm.
And they're only doing it, who knows why they're doing it? Maybe it's a sure thing. But then now, say like, let's play this out. My name is Malik. I'm 28. Tiffany, I asked you out on a date. You're the first person I've asked on a date. You say yes. We go out for a little while. Who knows what happens, but we date for a long time. It doesn't work out. It's not like an ugly breakup, but it just doesn't work out. Cool. In my mind, asking out a woman, I've been successful. So the next time I do it, it should happen. Carolyn, I asked you out on a date. And you say, oh, let's just say you say yes. So now I'm batting 2 for 2. Now I may not work out between us, but now at this older age, I'm batting 2 for 2. I haven't gone through rejection yet. Let's just say 2 more women I ask out, and I get the dates. But now I'll get to the 5th woman. Keisha from Southeast. Nigga, fuck you. I ain't going out with your ass. I don't know how to take that.
So is it the rejection that's fueling the anger? Like, you guys saw the video. I posted 2 like videos on the Tit for Tat podcast pages in the last week or so. Both of the videos are men talking about how men seem to hate women, and they particularly are mentioning the comments on the videos, which if you go in and look at those, it is crazy. Like, the men are so angry.
Yeah.
And it's very I don't know, it's sad, it's really sad, but it just makes you feel like what like even that guy that I was talking to, like, why are you so angry, really? Because it can't have anything to do with me. Because you don't even, I haven't done anything to you. You know, like you don't like, and that's why I didn't get mad, because I was like, he's very hurt and wounded in some way.
I think he
And-
knew.
But it also,
I have a feeling that I think he knew he was fighting under his weight class. I think there was a moment, I think, where he knew, like, usually a girl would be impressed by this story or impressed with something, and the fact that you kind of like weren't impressed by him. I mean, you said in the beginning you knew, like, yeah, this is a guy I wouldn't really, kick it to. So there was a kind of an energy where he had to work a little harder, and I guess he probably sensed, like, wow, man, this usually works with every girl I've ever said that to or whatever. And then he got in his feelings because he knew all along he was fighting under his weight class. That's my suspicion. Because to your point, and I'm hearing, he's 41. That's not that young, man. In my opinion,
Right.
Like, he just got in his feelings because of the fact that, like, when you fight under your weight class, a 1-2 usually knocks people out. But with you laughed at him. What? Is that a punch?
the other thing that is starting to become more prevalent is that there are men out here who have had serious issues with their mother.
Yes, absolutely.
When he was throwing a whole surprise birthday party for his mother the weekend we saw him.
Yeah, that's true.
That don't mean he liked her. That don't mean she didn't do him dirty. That don't mean, I know for a fact there are men out here whose moms treated them a certain way and they resent them, but that's still your mother. You see what I'm saying? Like,
I can see that.
It's more prevalent than even I thought. I didn't realize it was that bad.
Well, I can say from my own personal experiences and men that I've dated, and I have had domestic violence run-ins with my 13-year ex on a couple of occasions, and he didn't have a good relationship with his mom. And then
Did she freeze?
I think she
froze.
Yeah.
There's also a third reason too. The third reason is your relationship with your father and how he treated your mother.
Big time. But then usually your father is the one that teaches you how to regulate your emotions.
Exactly. Not only regulate your emotions,
with a single mom, you miss out on that lesson.
Right. But now, if say like you got a father that's abusive.
Ooh.
Right? Say like you got Carolyn, you back. Carolyn, I was saying that there's a third reason where the relationship that a guy may have with his father and how the father treats the mother. Because for a man, that's the first relationship we see how a man treats a woman.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, there are things that I experienced that I saw that I had to make a decision on whether or not I was going to be the same way. Right? And it could be something simple as, you know what? Don't let your wife or your woman handle all the money and the bills. Or it could be something as drastic as, this is how you keep your woman in line.
Yeah. And that's
men take that on.
I will certainly say, I don't know, I think it's storming outside over here, so I lost connection. So I don't know what's the last thing y'all heard before I fell off. But what I was saying from my own personal experiences with aggressive or physical like behavior, my personal experience with it and seeing it in other relationships, and in every single case that I know of personally, the man didn't have a good relationship with his mom. The relationship with his mom was either non-existent, like there was no relationship with his mom, or the relationship with his mom was not good, very strange.
Fractured, yep.
And so to your point, I guess growing up in that, or having that type of relationship growing up kind of shapes. It's just like women and their dads. They say you date your dad, and I sure did. I definitely dated my dad, and he was a hot fucking mess. That's why I dated men that was a hot mess. I'm just being honest, So it goes both ways, but it's unfortunate that happens because I think that there are a lot of men in that situation and they are taking it out on women. I was having a conversation with a friend of mine and he sent me a clip and on the clip it was a podcast show, a video like ours, and they were asking women, would you rather be alone in the woods with a bear or a man? I don't know, you guys have maybe have seen this. And like all of the women said they would rather be in the woods alone with a bear. And he was just like flabbergasted behind that.
It's flabbergasted to me because, goddamn, that means you'd rather get mauled by a bear than deal with a man. Like, shit, are we that bad?
I think she froze
like,
again.
Yeah, she was like, we're that bad. Like, it's that bad. And I can't even imagine somebody picking an animal like a bear over a whole human being.
Crazy,
bro. We're in a bad place.
Yeah.
And what makes it even worse is that men, we're not checking other men on this sort of thing. But it's not as easy as we think. The treatment of a woman by a man isn't seen by his friends for the most part.
But the way that they talk about women is heard by his friends, I feel like.
Not really.
No?
No. You'd be surprised. Like, you'll never hear a guy say, yeah, I beat my wife. Keep her ass in line.
Well, I would hope not. That's just craziness.
Or his general attitude towards women. Like, you're not going to hear that sort of thing. It just doesn't come up in regular conversation.
Do you guys, I want to specifically ask you and Eddie, and I know, Eddie's married currently, and Jay, you've been married before. Do you guys feel like there's some validity in the statement that men don't actually like women? Like they are attracted to them sexually. Obviously, they want sex from them and maybe partnership, but do they actually like what a woman is, like who she is?
Yeah, I think that there's just some validity in that statement. I definitely think there are men out here who don't like women.
What does that do for dating and relationships? Because how do I know I'm dealing with a man that really don't even like women unless he puts his hands on me or talks to me crazy, which I might not know until, I've already been invested in the relationship or put some time into it or whatever, like, and I make him mad. I don't know. I just feel like as a woman, how can you protect yourself from dealing with a man that doesn't like women? I mean, we can even take the Diddy Cassie thing. Like, obviously Diddy is violent towards women, and I'm not taking sides here, but I know what I saw on that video, and that was enough for me to know he put his hands on a woman in a way that he should have never done.
But it also takes two to tango, right? So first of all, in your case, Carolyn, you instinctively saw the shit when it was happening. So you weren't surprised when he crashed out on you.
No.
I think some of us know where to see it coming, but we still stick around for it. That's point number one. And point number two, you take the whole Cassie thing. When you stay around in an abusive relationship, there's a number of reasons. A lot of it has to do with self-esteem.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? When you love yourself and you are comfortable with yourself and you know what you're going to put up with and you know what you're not going to put up with, it is very easy to walk away from shit like that.
This is true.
When you feel like
go ahead.
you need to be validated, when you feel like you need to be validated, or you feel like this is the life you want, and you're going to do whatever you need to do to get this life. If you want to be in a position where you're rich and you don't have to worry about your second, third, it's a possibility you'll put up with that sort of abuse.
Yeah, 100%.
That's unfortunate.
To
Well,
each
yeah,
his
there's
own.
obviously some deeper issues there. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say to each his own. I can't, and this is so funny enough and not funny. If I saw a man and a woman fighting on the street and the man was beating her, it's a 50% chance I wouldn't do anything. Because nowadays, what if she wants that?
What if she wants it? Why would
Yeah.
she want that?
Because some women feel like if my man is not beating me or abusing me, he doesn't love me.
100%.
But they've been conditioned to think that because they've gotten beaten or abused, which no one wants or asks for.
But that's
No
where
one.
they're at right now. It's too late.
I don't know. I have mixed feelings about that for sure. Like, I
Listen,
understand minding your business or whatever, but at the same
on
time,
my mama, I swear to God, it didn't make any sense to me, but it's real.
Yeah, very real. I actually saw a friend of mine a long time ago. There was a couple fighting, and my boy jumped in it. And why the couple turned and jumped on my boy, we had to jump and hold him back because she kirked out when he
wow.
grabbed up her man. This is the dude that was on top of her throwing blows. And my boy was the first one to grab up the dude and be like, yo, don't you ever put hands on a woman. And he threw him down, and the dude kind of landed on his head. And then the girl started fighting my friend. And we had to hold the girl back. True story. And I'll break down exactly why that illness comes from. When you grow up in like a fractured environment, whether it's the hood or growing up with a single mom, and you see your mom go through that with men coming in and out of the house getting beat, slapped up, you look at that, it's kind of a weird thing. You almost look at that as an affection. If you can't get a rise out of a man, get him pumped up to get in your face and call you out of your name, you almost don't see him because he must care if you can make him that mad. It becomes this warped mentality of like, remember that old movie Baby Boy, when the scene where Taraji told him she was cheating on him, and old boy didn't even care, and then she started crying because she knew he don't love me, Jody don't, because she was trying to get a rise at it.
Mm-hmm.
She was trying to get him the butt in her face. And the point is, a lot of women think that's affection. And some people, I've been in a dysfunctional relationship where a girl was trying to start a fight with me because she was used to that kind of drama. And I'm not into that kind of drama. I remember she literally would be like, I wonder how you look like when you were angry, Eddie, because you're so cool. And she would try to like pick on me and fuck with me and try to get me and try to say shit. And I knew right away, I said, I got to cut this off because she thinks this is like some drama fun for her to start some shit. And it's a sickness for real. It's a real sickness.
Why do you think that so many men seem to take pleasure in humbling women? And when I think about this question, your boy comes to mind to me, Kevin Samuels, because honestly, he seemed to enjoy breaking women down. I get so many men want to defend him and say, oh, you got to listen to the message. No, he didn't deliver it the best, but the message makes sense. When you take pleasure in cutting someone else down, like that is.
I think you took pleasure in humbling women.
Right, that's the same thing, in my opinion.
Here's what I'm saying. When you 5'4", 250 pounds, and you talking about, I look like Beyonce, stop it. And let me tell you why that's problematic, right? Because when you feel like you look like you are Beyonce, you're gonna have a Beyonce attitude. You're gonna feel like you deserve all the things that this woman. No, we live in a society, and I'm gonna keep it all the way above, right? Certain people are going to get certain things based on how they look or what they do. This, that, and the third. That's just how the society is built. Prettier women are going to get prettier boys. Or men who aspire to be more than blase blah. Like, that's just how the shit works. Whether we like it or not, let's just cut the bullshit. Right? Beyonce is not dating Jason the janitor. Nia Long is not getting with the nigga next door.
Okay, but again, to me, when you feel like you got a humble woman, and even pretty women, like, I think men take pleasure in, and that's what the post was about today. Did you get opportunity to watch it?
Yeah, I saw that part.
The focus was more so on men's hatred towards women based on the comments, but it started out with pretty women and how men take pleasure in humbling them. And I don't know if it's because maybe throughout the history of their lives they've found a woman very attractive who didn't want anything to do with them.
And that's probably it. That's probably it. I don't put a lot of stock in that.
Yeah.
And that's not what Kevin Samuels did.
No, that's not what Kevin Samuels did. That's what the guy was talking about in the video.
Right. Which is fine. I don't put a lot of stock in that.
Yeah.
But the question that you talked about, you started off with Kevin Samuels.
Yeah.
Kevin Samuels humbled the hump that needed to be humbled.
But see, no,
you're not going to come on a live broadcast, a podcast, looking like you do, 4 kids talking about, I need a nigga that makes 6 figures.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I'm not saying, but first of all,
a lot of them did though.
They did that though, Carolyn.
I know. I have seen some of the videos. I know that based on societal standards, that some of these women came on and they wanted something that, based on societal standards, wasn't in their category.
Carolyn, it's not societal standard. I'm not, as a single black man, dating a woman who's 5'4", Let me back up. And Tiffany laughed because she know where I'm about to go with this. Tiffany and Karen, y'all know who I am. Y'all seen me before. Y'all seen me out before. Y'all see how I roll. If you saw me with a girl who's 5'4", 250 pounds with 4 kids, what would you say to me?
Congratulations.
Don't lie.
What's wrong?
Don't lie.
I mean, I
don't know what to say. Don't get the fuck out of here. You were looking at me like, you telling me you want me to sound like, Jay, you good?
He got the syndrome. He want to save a hoe. I don't know.
I wouldn't say nothing, but in my mind, I would be like, "Yeah,
she probably has some good poo-poo."
Right. and let's keep it a buck. Let's keep it a buck. What? Let's be honest we being honest right now.
But I wouldn't say that.
Yeah, but you thinking it, which is the same fucking thing.
I would think that.
Why would you think that?
Because I know the type of women that you are attracted to and the type of women that you date. That you
and the type of woman that I deserve.
Okay.
So I think I present well. I'm going to be a gentleman. I respect women, this, that, and the third. Yo, you're not going to come to me talking that bullshit with 4 kids talking about I deserve this, that, and the third. Well, no, get the fuck out of here.
I mean,
you're not. No. I don't have to settle for that.
You don't, and if you don't want to, then don't. But here's, I think that's my problem with men who do that. If you think that she does not deserve you, or she is beneath you for whatever reason, not beneath you, that sounds terrible, but also deserve sounds a little bad to me too, because it's like, she may feel like she deserves a man that's this, that, and whatever it is that she desires, just like you feel like you deserve whatever it is that you desire. And I don't think it's our place to say whether or not that's okay. We can have our opinions or not. But for you to say she doesn't deserve a certain type of man because of her, appearance, I'm assuming, and then she got 4 kids, so somebody hitting that. So somebody is okay with that. Somebody is. Okay? So it's not fair for anyone else to say, this is the type of dude you deserve or whatever. It's like,
the niggas ain't stable.
but that, okay.
So, Carolyn, let me ask you this, Carolyn. If we would have saw you out with this cat, let's say it worked out. Let's say, he's cool, whatever. What do you think we would think? We saw you at Boston Commons, all bunned up, holding hands, old boy coming out the movie theater. What do you think we would think?
Y'all would be like,
real talk,
surprised.
Why?
I would say that y'all would be surprised.
Break it down. Why?
Because y'all know what I like is what I talk about on the show. Y'all know me. Y'all know the type of men that I like. So it's like you would be, because physically he was not my type. Not to say he wasn't bad looking in the face, but he just wasn't my type physically. And I typically would not have
tall. Let's just put it that way.
He wasn't tall, and he wasn't
slim. He wasn't
right.
Slim. He wasn't fat either, but
right. He wasn't. Yeah, he wasn't fat, but
he wasn't in shape neither, though.
You said what?
He wasn't in shape neither.
No, he was short and he wasn't in shape. So that's no
double whammy.
And even then, I was open because it felt like good energy at the time.
He was open because you was feeling guilty about the fact that you only go after a certain type of dude, and you were like, let me try something different. That's why the fuck you did that. And you learned your fucking lesson.
Well, let me ask you a question real quick. I gotta dig this. So when obviously he was attracted to you, and obviously he pointed out in one of the conversations, damn, you look good, you're so pretty, boom, boom. And he was kind of looking for some reciprocation. How'd that exchange go?
It felt awkward because I couldn't reciprocate about his physical.
You heard crickets?
I think I just said thank you because no, I could not. I mean,
you show
do you know how awkward that is?
You show is pretty.
Nigga, that's like saying I love you and then don't get an I love you back.
It's not
cool.
That bad.
Oh, that's cool.
That's something. I said thank you.
Got a motherfucker saying olive oil. Yo, that's what we're talking about. That's what the spirit of Kevin Samuels was.
Oh, man.
That was the spirit. You couldn't even bring yourself. You lowered your standard, which you don't like doing.
Mm-hmm.
You ended up in a position where you couldn't even reciprocate the same energy.
Yeah, I think he caught it, man. I have a feeling.
But
that's
honestly,
what Kevin Samuels was saying.
But also, to me, it wasn't genuine. Like, men tell women they're beautiful all the time. Like, it's just something y'all say because y'all know that
it's a lie. Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
You know he was telling the truth.
You said what?
You know he was telling the truth.
I mean, do I think I'm beautiful? Yes. But do I think that he was genuinely just letting me know that as opposed to trying to get in good with me to eventually have sex with me?
Hold on, though. If you was somebody you were attracted to physically and he said that, dollars of donuts, that man saying that you're beautiful, you're taking it differently.
I would agree with that, possibly. I'm not going to say in every situation, but I would agree with that. I think definitely. Yeah.
And what Kevin Samuels, the essence of what he was trying to say, and he just said, and you just kind of proved that point, is that we all have a minimum threshold of what we're going to fuck with. What he did was he just basically brought out and said the shit that you really don't want to say out loud.
For the purposes of, but it gave him pleasure to humble women.
Why do you think it gave him pleasure?
Because he did it too much. He would do it overkill. Like every single woman that comes on there.
You know why he did it so much? Because that's how many women out here are delusional.
You can't tell me
you're not a man. You don't really get to see and understand how many women out here are truly delusional about where they are and fit in society.
But then, okay, so what that says is, to me, that impacts dating and relationships, because now, I mean, I'm not a Kevin Samuels fan. You guys know that, so I don't I didn't think he was anything special, but he apparently thought he would consider himself a high value man or whatever. So so now just every Tom, Dick, and Harry walking around here thinks that they can humble any woman that they feel like, that they personally feel like is not, you know, or wanting, their standards are too high or whatever. And you see that all the time on the internet too. Half the reason why these men are mad is because they don't have nobody, because don't nobody want their ass. But if you think, why you got a whole bunch of men running around here thinking they can humble people and they ain't even where they need to be in life, why would you want to deal with that as a woman? That's a turn off to me.
And I get that. And this is where the rubber meets the road. If I'm a regular Mo, say like, listen, I'm a plumber. I'm part of the union. I got steady work. I got good money coming in. My bills are paid. I don't got no debt. I'm average looking. This guy I just described is not getting love. So when he does meet women who, and most men, to a certain extent, don't fight outside their weight class. We're pretty consistent with where we're a lot more humble with where we know where we need to live.
You think most men?
Most men, for the most part. Some niggas, that's just how they built. They're gonna go after the best thing. That's just how they move. I can't be mad at it. But they're okay with the rejection too.
Mm-hmm.
But most men who are kind of shy and don't like rejection, they're gonna fight in their weight class. The problem is that the women that are in their weight class are on some bullshit thinking they're in a whole nother weight class, and they're not.
I have to get to the bottom of this because this really pisses me off. Okay? Because beauty is in the eyes of the beholder. And you have even said to me before, maybe not necessarily on the show, but just in our personal conversation, that I have a diluted sense of, I don't know how you worded it, but basically you said I think I'm finer than I am. And I was very offended by that.
What I said was is that
I don't remember how you worded it, but I remember thinking he got some nerve.
No, and that, Carolyn, you're beautiful women, right? What I probably said was that there is a threshold where there's a weight class for you. And I think oftentimes we don't want to see this weight class because if we know there's one above us, we're going to think we punching here. Again, men, we're humble in that space. And so what ends up happening, and this is where I think the rubber hits the road, if especially from a character standpoint, if I'm a solid motherfucker, but all you see or what you base or how you judge me is the fact that I don't make a certain amount of money or I don't do, that's where the hate starts to develop. I go to work. I go to work every day. I'm an honest man. If I got kids, I take care of my kids. Listen, I'm slow motion. I'm out here chilling. I'm a human being that don't do nothing to nobody. I'm a good man.
Yeah.
This guy that I'm describing is getting left to the wayside, and to a certain extent, this is the guy that's starting to develop a lot of hate for women.
Yeah, I agree with that. But what I'm saying is, just because that's good that you have all those things, you have those qualities, and there's nothing wrong with that. But the woman that you want may not want you. That may not be what she wants. It's not anything personal. And I think they're getting mad because it's like, well, you should want me because even like based on what you're saying, okay, we're on the same, if we are considered on the same playing field, like if we both sevens, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And I, as a man, I'm a 7 and you're a 7 and I want you, but you don't want me for whatever reason. And now I'm mad about it. And now I'm acting like you're not really even a 7 anyway. You're really a 5.
I'm not talking about that guy, because the men I described would never disrespect you like that, despite the rejection. But
Okay.
what I'm talking about is the woman who sees the guy that she, for real, let's keep it a buck. If that's a 7 and you're a 7, that's the nigga you should be playing around with. But that 7 wants to play around with the 9s and 10s. You're playing outside your weight class. And here's the crazy part. That man that's a 9 or a 10, he's only fucking with other 9 or 10s. But because you think for real you're a 9, you think you can play in that weight class. And you're playing yourself, and every time you play yourself, you end up alone when you could have been fucking around with a solid 7.
I hear all that, but don't you think that that's the woman's choice? If a woman wants to go chase,
I'm not trying to take away your choice. What we're trying to do is create your reality. I'm not trying to take away your choice. You should have the choice that what we're trying to talk about, and this is where it gets interesting, because again, and I posted this in our chat about women working off emotion and men working off logic.
Mm-hmm.
Emotionally, you should have your fucking choice because it's traditionally been taken away from you. I wholeheartedly understand that. I'm with you on that. I want you to have your choice, but I want your choice to be rooted in reality.
I don't know. I feel like it's not fair for men to get mad because they want to determine.
I agree. We should get mad. But what we're trying, but to the whole point of this whole conversation, that's where the hate develops. But what I am saying is that there's a way. Not only is there a way to prevent that on both sides, but there are men who don't get mad, and we're not seeing them.
Okay, that's fair. I don't know how to fix that, but that's fair.
Because you're not going to hear about those situations. You're going to hear about the situation where the guy acted crazy or acted out or did this or that.
Yeah.
Facts. I'm gonna give you I want to bring this up, and I'm gonna try to tie this into. Close friend of mine sent me a video about why men aren't going to speed dating, and y'all know I broke this shit down.
Mm-hmm.
And here's how I'm going to tie this in. Part of also why there's a development of hate with men against women is that you're trying to now control when and where we approach y'all and get with y'all. Men are hunters.
What do you mean by that? How are we doing that?
Women are basically saying, or that video was like, yo, nope, men don't show up to speed dating events.
Mm-hmm.
Well, shit, that means men are basically telling us they don't want to date us. No, nigga, that's not what the fuck men are saying. Men are saying we don't want to go somewhere where we can't be our natural selves. Speed dating is not a place for a man to be himself. It's like shooting fish in a barrel. It's too easy. There's no, we are hunters. We want to hunt. We want to see Tiffany walking down the street in that badass dress. Jay, no disrespect. I'm just talking examples here. Tiffany walking down the street in that dress looking good. Nigga want to be like, yeah, Shawty, what's up?
That's fine. Like,
go ahead.
I'm just saying it's fine that makes sense to me, and that's fine. If men don't want to come into those type of spaces, that's okay. But again, where is the anger coming from?
Because you're
people are
not
just being
listening.
used, man. I think right now, from what I'm hearing from younger friends of mine and family members that are younger that are having a hard time, and I would think on both sides of my friends, they both catches. But what I'm hearing and seeing is that today's dater has more residue than they ever had in the history of dating. Most people have been heartbroken. It's like crazy. It's like insane. So now they coming in projecting the last situation on you, and now they're trying to look, and it's like crazy. Like that Paul Pierce clip really hit home for me. I was like, wow, like that's real. Like I really believe that in a lot of ways. I do believe that people just look at each
What
other
did Paul
as like,
Pierce say? Sum it up real quick.
well, the Paul. I thought someone posted it. I thought it was you.
No, I saw. We all saw, but the audience did.
Yeah. So Paul Pierce posted, literally like like nobody really likes women. We just like them sexually. And he basically was like, I could never be with a woman, be married or in a relationship because it's too draining. I just want to use them for what I use them for, but I want my peace at home. I want my peace in what I eat. And the moderator was like, well, don't you believe in a woman making you better? He goes, how can he laughed at it. Like, how does that make sense? She's gonna come bring me her problems when I'm at peace, and I have to, and then she's gonna like hijack my peace with her problems, with her day and her issues. And
Don't
literally,
you
when he
think
said
women
that,
might feel like that also?
huh? I
I'm
think
sorry
a
to cut
lot
you
of
off,
people.
but I was just saying, do you think that women might also feel that way?
Yeah, that's my point. I think a lot of women. I know women now that have given up so bad. Probably listening to this show, by the way, that they just want a man to just kind of like have fun with, have fancy dinners, go on trips. Some women, oops, I'm gonna say it. Some women would prefer a married man because he don't have to be needy.
Oh yeah.
Oops.
Yeah.
They'd rather prefer to be like, oh, we go on that trip to Jamaica. You cool with that? Hit me up on the sneak tip.
Real shit.
Because I don't want you messing with my peace. I want to go home, play with my pet, my dog, whatever, watch my shows. I don't want to have to ask you what you want for your dinner because I want to have Chinese. I don't want to be like compromising. Like, no, people, when Paul Pierce said that, I was like, yo, this is what the new shit is like now.
Yeah.
And I think it's because everyone's has a bitter story, in my opinion. I feel like everyone's bitter and they coming into this game of dating just bitter with a they can't even fix their face right. Like, we're gonna go out tonight? All right.
And his bitter story was
like,
13
I heard Red Lobster got
marriage.
the 3 for 1. Send me a cheddar biscuit. Fuck you and your cheddar biscuits.
His story was 13 years of baggage from his 13-year marriage. I was like, this dude is talking like he ain't never like been in a relationship before. I said, Lord, he was married for 13 years.
It's crazy. It's like I think everybody's looking at it like we've all heard this for 100 years. We all heard the whole, oh, it's a business, but now it's more of a business than I've ever seen. It's sad, man. And I'm scared for everybody. I'm scared for my kids when they get older. It's gonna be bad, man.
It's real, man.
I mean, I agree it is. I think that, to your point, I think that a lot more women are messing with married men for those very reasons. Because women have come to a place where, especially ones that are financially independent, of just wanting peace also, and not wanting to have to do all of the things that come with being a wife and a girlfriend, because that's a lot of responsibility as well. Like that's a lot.
Yeah, everybody want to play house with it, but they don't want to pay the mortgage.
Yeah.
Oh,
but I don't see women being mad about the state that we're in. I see women talking about the dating world right now. I see women crying sometimes on their posts. Sad, like, or not angry. Like, there's just a difference in the response. I feel like all of us are going through similar things, but I feel like men are getting angry and resentful. And I feel like women are just being like, okay, well, I'm just going to do me. I'm going to take my trips.
That's the problem. We telling y'all ways.
But if men are being used for the purpose that they're supposed to be, used for. Sorry to say used, but some men feel like their purpose in life is to, have a partner, be with a partner, be a provider, be these things. And if they aren't getting allowed the opportunity, or, the whole internet is talking about the 1% that they are not, how are they supposed to feel? I don't know. That's what I think about.
And again, we've been telling y'all ways to meet men. Don't fucking listen. Again, that I would be angry too. Like, if I'm a guy, I know I'm a good dude, and I'm right here. Fucking get off your phone. I'm right here. I'm right here. I'm in the grocery store. I'm in your church. I'm at the school. I'm here.
Well, I don't think
I'm not in Gucci, Louis. I work hard every day. I'm in regular, you know what I mean?
Well, let's break that down for a minute, because I get it. Like, you can meet men anywhere, but like, are the women supposed to approach the men?
No, but here's the thing, right? And this is what I said. Listen, I was thinking about this show today, and I was thinking about everything I said, and I was looking at people today on the train. I saw about 10 cute women, all of them in their phone. Now I'm a fly motherfucker. Now, what if God had, what if I was supposed to be for one of them? They'd have missed their blessing because they in their phone. You're not even looking, you don't see what's going on around you. You're in your phone all day.
So when a woman's on her phone, is that discouraging a man? He doesn't feel like he should go over and approach?
You're interrupting.
Hey, you're not open to interaction. Let me tell you the opposite way. Let me tell you the opposite. Back in the day, and I always use this as an example because it's so perfect. Back in the day, Virginia Beach, during Memorial Weekend, July 4th weekend, or Labor Day weekend, Negroes up and down the East Coast used to go to Virginia Beach. Tiffany, you know what I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
And all motherfuckers did was drive up and down the strip or stand on the sidewalk. Now, as men, we stand on the sidewalk. You know what the women were doing? They put on their cutest, tightest, fattest outfits, and they just walked up and down the strip. And you know what was happening? Either men were trying to grab on these women, not grab on, trying to talk to them, or the women would be like, they see a man, give him that eye contact, and if a man was a shooter, go time, baby. That's all you need. Listen. All you gotta do is give me a look. It's go time. That's all that was needed. Won't no phones.
I'm wondering how approachable women are making themselves, because I know me, like I'm gonna be the one in my phone, and even if I'm not even doing it on my phone, I'm acting like I'm doing on my phone, something on my phone, because I don't want you coming over here. That's where I am. But listen. But I'm also not out here actively seeking to meet a man. So, and I'm not saying I'm against it. Like, hello, I was open. I exchanged numbers with Lil Angry.
Little angry. Little angry nigga.
But that was after us having conversations and everybody like, oh,
Tory Lanez.
You know that.
He was hanging out with Tory Lanez.
Well, I don't know what to call him.
Seemed cool.
He did seem cool, but he was not. But yeah, like I'm wondering again, like I just see so many women or hear so many women or read about it online saying that they are just happier being single. Like I don't think a lot of women, for whatever reason, like yes, the responsibility and the blame lies on both of us. It's not just, men's fault. It's not just women's fault. We collectively have created this shit show that is dating at the moment. within our community. But at the same time, I see like a lot of women they seem like they're just like okay with just whatever, like continue to live life, take trips, make money, deal with men when they when they want to, and then when they don't want to, not married or not. I mean I don't promote dealing with married men at all, but I understand why they do it. You know, so I don't know how we actually fix this, but I don't think it's very becoming of men. Like men talk about being leaders and protectors and providers. I think men are supposed to lead. So when men act like that, when they are lashing out at women, and talking to them, talking about them negatively on social media and stuff, that's a turnoff. To me, it just makes things worse. And I saw today that happened in the comments, and another man checked that guy. He said, because that's a lot of the times the defense with men too. Is like when you say something like that about men, then their first response is to go point out something that the women are doing wrong, if that makes sense. It's just like, well, why'd you do that? Well, so did it too. Like, it's not like you just missed the whole point. I asked you why you did it. Like, what's going on with you? And you're over here deflecting and trying to talk about the fact that someone else did it. And I think that's what this guy was doing in the comments. He was saying, you say this, and this about men, and we're just, but do you have the same energy when women do blah, blah, blah? And the man was like, hey, bro, we're the men. We're supposed to lead. So no, we don't get caught up in our emotions. So
that's a dateable man and a non-dateable man. Every man acting, ignorant and stupid, they are non-dateable.
Right.
They're in their own little pool.
I agree with that.
Hurt people, so that's where a lot of that comes from.
I agree. Can a man love you but still not like one? Like I so many people I know that say they love their spouses and whatnot, but they are not happy in their marriages. It's like they don't like them. And I know we talked about this, Jay. You've referenced like COVID before, right? So when COVID hit and couples were like stuck in the house together, and it wasn't like the hustle and bustle of like what life actually looks like when both partners are working, and then you've maybe got kids and all this other stuff going on, and they had to like be around each other. Then it was discovered that I really don't like so-and-so.
Yeah.
So do we think that it's possible that can a man love a woman but not like her?
Absolutely.
100%.
You're not gonna like her all the time. I know my husband don't like me all the time.
Most baby mama, baby father relationships are like that. I love my baby mama. I love my baby father, but I don't like him.
Yeah, 100%.
Because I got kids with him.
How do that work? I'm not talking about in a marriage where y'all are not,
you got kids with them.
Like I'm just talking about like it. Like really, I don't really like anything.
That child creates so much love and so much. Eddie, you gotta help me out here, Dave.
Yeah. I mean,
no matter what.
But
no matter what.
Here's a tall tale, though. Here's a tall tale. And this is something y'all already know. I ain't telling y'all nothing. If you ever walk in a room and your partner is smiling and geeking out, laughing with her homegirl or friend or brother, sister on the phone in a way that she hasn't laughed with you or smiled with you in a long time, that's how you know she loves you but doesn't like you. Mm-hmm. When you're like, wow, and you're like offended that she's laughing at. What did Tiff say on the phone? That was so funny. You almost get offended, even though it's her sister, it's her cousin, it was her mama. But she ain't laughing like that with me. I'm never that funny. That's how you know you're the one that she don't like. Because she sees you or he sees you as a duty, as a mission. Like, all right, where we gonna get these kids? All right, you get groceries? All right, you doing PTA? I'm doing bath time? But if y'all can't key and laugh and be the homie between all that, and everything's just duty, mission, And there's no like, yo, what's up? You see this shit with Paul Pierce? This motherfucker crazy. Yo, you see Sinners? What you think of that part with Sinners, babe? That scene with if you ain't breaking down Sinners and laughing and connecting and sharing cigars, she only likes you, bro. Oops.
Well, what do you think that men? This will be the last question, and then we can wrap it up. But I'm wondering, like, do you think that men have more respect for women that they are not like sexually attracted to, as compared to the women that they date?
It has nothing to do with sex.
Why not?
Because I can have sex with somebody and not even barely know you.
Right, but in terms of the anger aspect, it's like you're not angry at the girl that you didn't want. You're angry at the girl that you wanted, the girls that you want, but you can't have. So,
right, but it's deeper than rap. It ain't about sex. It's deeper than rap. It's about the fact that, yo, you're probably, and it's not fair, but if I'm looking at you and you, I know we should make this shit happen, but you keep trying to date or go outside your weight class, and I'm right here. I saw it. I'm here. I'm gonna love you better than any of these niggas you trying to go after because they not gonna love you like I'm gonna love you. And I get it. Like that's not. I can't shove my love onto you. I can't push it onto you. But it does create resentment and anger. Because I know for a fact that we would be dope, but your ass wants the nice shiny thing.
Yeah. There's a song out right now. There's a song out right now.
I'm the diamond in the rough. All you gotta do is shine me up, and I'll be the same as that nigga.
Yeah. Have y'all heard that song by Jesse Reyes? Should have been me. That song has been fucking up the internet right now because the song essentially is about a dude who settled for this, house, this girl that he could control, but he's thinking about the girl he let go. And the song is like, it's been like kind of this anthem, this by a girl named Jesse Reyes. Watch when I say it after a couple of times, your phone gonna play it. But yeah, it's called Could Have Been Me. And the song essentially is about how dudes will sometimes settle for the girl that they can control versus the girl that was looking to build with them, but she was harder to control. And they had to let her go. But they know in their heart, if they would have waited a little longer, maybe if he would have had more patience, maybe they would have had something bigger. But I think that's our flaw, man, as men, is that sometimes we can't trust what we can't control. And it becomes this thing where, like, we know at the end of the day, it's like, man, but if she just listened, but in her heart, man, it's like, but she is the one, though. She's a good woman. She's this and that. I got to cut her loose, man. She's unpredictable. She's a wild card. But then you would, the controls girl that will do anything, hop like do anything, make your cheddar biscuits the way you like it, everything. But you thinking about old girl that got away, and that's real life. I have friends that talk about that all the time.
I feel like there are a lot of men.
I'm like, damn, bro, we ain't been in college in 20 years.
Yeah, I definitely think that a lot of men are living that life because they settled. They don't like, and that's something else that I learned. Honestly, I swear, like in my past, which I wasn't the same person. I'm a much healthier person, emotionally, spiritually, and everything else. But one of the things I felt like that I did was like, I was one that would do everything to try to show you how much I loved you. Like I would really genuinely love you. And I would do things to show that and support that. And that seemed to push some men away when I did that. But then now that I've gotten older and like my standards are higher and I'm much more strict, I pay much more attention. I'm not going for no nonsense. It's like that draws men, like then men are like all pressed up about you. And I don't understand that. Because it's like I'm actually not nearly as nice as I was before.
It's not about being nice.
Well, okay.
It's about self-esteem. It's about knowing what you won't stand for and what you will stand for. Men are like kids to a certain extent. We like guardrails, barriers. As long as we know what we can get away with and what we can't, all right, cool. It's like that man that won't put a ring on it because he's already getting the milk. I'm a commit for. I'm already getting the milk to a certain extent. That milk means I'm not just talking about sex.
Mm-hmm.
Milk can mean many different things to different men.
And those behaviors are what are turning women off because they've experienced them before, and they're
You
starting
have
to be like,
control over that.
I'm good on that. Not
You
doing
have
it.
control over that, though. You
You
mad on some
do.
shit you have control over.
You do. And women are choosing to just let these men live and do their own thing.
That's
And the men
not
are mad about
control.
it.
That's
That's the thing.
quitting. That's not control. That's quitting. You can manage a man by simply being okay with yourself.
If you want to, yes, I agree with that. If you want to put the effort and the work into doing so. But
That's on you.
if you don't, then you're gonna be like, I don't, I'm good.
And that's some
I'm
sucker
good on
shit.
these niggas.
Because
Like,
you're not giving up on men, you getting up on yourself.
I
Don't
don't
blame it on us because you like fuck it. Nah, it ain't because of us. You giving up because of you.
I don't know
Men
that I
are
agree
going
with
to
that.
men are going to do what we're allowed to do,
Absolutely.
and we're not going to shy away from. I don't know too many men out. Eddie, I don't know about you, but I don't know any men out here that are like, man, I ain't dating no fucking women. Fuck them.
They all over the internet. What do you mean?
No, they're not saying they won't date them. They talking shit about it. But if you listen carefully, ain't none of them saying, fuck that, I ain't dating no more.
Okay, you're right. Fair.
Because it ain't gonna happen.
Right, because of sex.
It's not just sex. We know deep down, this shit don't work without a woman.
Okay.
It don't.
Then why drive the women away?
It's not on purpose. It's out of frustration. Again, there's good men out here. I'm not saying we're all good. I'm saying
100%.
there's some good men out here who are. Listen, I'm gonna leave everybody with this. I remember the first time I got cheated on. Yeah, I got cheated on. Freshman year of college. I was dating an older, AKA. Caught her in the act. This is after I bought her some sneakers. And you know the old school saying, don't buy no chick no shoes because she'll walk out your life. Nigga, I ain't bought a shorty a pair of shoes since. You dig? You know what I mean? So that's
true. It's not true.
That's one piece of trauma for me. But after that, after I caught shorty, man, I know my rest of my college career, I won't write.
Yeah.
Now, that was my version of anger. That was already predicated on the fact that I got accused of rape when it didn't happen.
Damn.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy.
So subconsciously, I ain't like none of y'all motherfuckers.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? You wouldn't know that the way I would interact with women.
Yeah.
I didn't call you bitches.
Yeah.
I didn't disrespect you in public or in private, this, that, and the third. But I had relationships that didn't end well. And what I mean by end well, it didn't end in the fact that it was always, why are we ending?
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of it had to do with a lack of trust.
Understand.
So anger manifests itself in different ways. And it's not always because, yo, I hate you because, nah, this shit I got fucked up. Somebody
think
did
that's the
something to
case.
me.
Yeah, and I think that's the case for a lot of men. I think a lot of the anger is there's trauma behind it of some sort that happened at some point in their past that they, are obviously still dealing with. And so
Big fact.
that resentment or that disdain for women is subconscious in a lot of ways, like you said. Like it doesn't necessarily manifest itself by disrespectful language or whatever. Like you said, you was just running through girls and didn't give a fuck. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I understand that, right? That makes sense to me. But at some point, you dealt with those issues that you had or attempted to, and healed, and it changed you. And I think that
But it
that's
was I want to be very clear about that. It was a decision.
right.
And that decision came at a very crucial point and a very expensive point because it cost me my divorce.
Mm. Yeah.
And even then, it was like I had to be man enough to say it's gotta be me.
Mm-hmm.
Some niggas ain't gonna get a divorce and be like that bitch took half and that's why I always tell people divorce is the worst thing to happen to any man.
Yeah.
Because oftentimes, most of the time, he's still not gonna see how he played his part in that.
Yeah. But don't you think that's and I know we're getting close to time, so we need to wrap it up soon, but don't you think that's an internal thing? That inability to acknowledge and look at self and understand how you contributed to whatever negative outcome that has been come about?
Yep, absolutely. Absolutely.
I don't really know how we fix this, but I guess for parting words, maybe we could come up with some ideas or suggestions. So I'm gonna pass the mic to Tiff and Eddie, and then me, and then of course Jay will close us out. Tiff, what you think about these little angries online?
Honestly, I love when I'm busy. I get caught up. Y'all keep me caught up. But I think sometimes people just go online to lash out because they can't really have those intimate conversations in real life with people. So it's just easier to just say and spew whatever you want behind a little keyboard. And that's very unfortunate. So I just think that, overall, even my 70-something-year-old aunt was in the car today talking about dating and in her age, right? After, becoming a widow or whatever, like, and trying to say, she's like, I'm in my 70s. I'm not gonna die alone. I'm gonna meet me a man. And I was like, okay, all right. Where we gonna find a man? You wanna go golfing with me? What you wanna do? But it's unfortunate that you had to experience that, right? And it goes to show you that an individual can have a specific thought about one person on a friendship level, but then they have a different experience with someone on a more than friendship level. So I just say, God bless everybody. I hope that there is a turn in what's happening between men and women. And, shows like this can make it better instead of trying to enhance what's, the obvious that's going on online.
That's definitely true. Eddie,
And
what are your thoughts?
Yeah, it's crazy, man. Jay just reminded me of something. Wifey and I just finished this show on Netflix. I definitely think y'all should watch it. It's a coming of age joint. It's called Forever.
Mm-hmm.
It's about these two youngins fall in love, not ruining nothing. But I'll be honest, bro. Before watching that show, I thought, hey, I'm good. My head's straight. But I'll be honest, just like Jay was mentioning, watching that show, because it's like eight episodes, 7 episodes, something like that. There was a scene in the show, very natural, that every man can relate to, and it happened to me, and I got triggered. I got fucked up watching that episode. I remember hating the girl for a while. Like, yo, that girl is a fucking you know. And it triggered me, you know, because I was like, yo, that's crazy. Like, because it reminded me that most men, or most all of us, men and women, we go into our first relationship with like good intentions. We're coming in pure, we're simps, if you will, like to the highest degree. And then when someone takes advantage of that, then we start to learn how to protect that inner child that got hurt back in high school. We might be 60, 50 years old now, but that little 16-year-old boy is still that kid that we try to protect every day. And I'm realizing that even though I'm married now, like more conscious of how most of us are not healed, especially in our communities. Like, I think it's safe to assume that when you're dating, you're going to be sitting across someone, whatever y'all doing at the diner or whatever, an unhealed kid. He might come in a Maserati. He might have the dress to the nines, but assume that kid is not healed. And I think once we look at that kid, that man as a kid or the woman as a girl, we'll have more grace for each other. The same way you do at work all the time, Carolyn. You know you're doing God's work. I think we still we need that same grace for each other. Because, oh boy, I mean, you were there. I don't know what he was. He's projecting. He was unhealed, man.
Yeah, for sure.
That little boy. Somehow you triggered that little 14, 15-year-old boy, you know? And now he over here want you to get hit by a bus. I'm like, damn.
Terrible.
That wasn't even about you. You know that.
I know. That's why I didn't get mad. And like I said, how I know that like therapy truly works, because him lashing out at me didn't trigger me. And normally someone lashing out at me would trigger me. I'm not like, I don't usually start things, but if you come for me, then I can finish it. But I just knew that what it was. And I'm actually watching that show as well. And I agree with you. And like something that really opened my eyes was, the boy on the show goes through something and you see how devastated he is behind it. And I think that happens in a lot of cases with a lot of men, especially to your point, Eddie, those first, like those innocent years when you're just like the love is like so pure and so real. And it's like, you're so vulnerable because you're just like out there with it, right? As men, you know, because I don't like, it's like when they get older, they are not like that nearly as much. And to your point, is because they've learned to kind of like protect themselves and not be so simpy or whatever you want to say. But fortunately, some men are able to recover from those experiences. But a lot of men aren't. Like a lot of men have never recovered from whatever one or two experiences they had early with women where they were hurt or disappointed or let down or whatever the case may be. And they're still carrying that at like adult age and like grown men. And so, and I think that because women, we experience that too. Like we same thing. We're all innocent in love, think we're going to be together forever. And then we have sex with the guy. And then he's like, doesn't even talk to you the next day. And you're just like devastated, you know? But I think something that helps women is we tend to have like a support system around us. We tend to be more comfortable talking about it to our friends and family and whoever we have around us, to kind of like help us get through it or navigate it or build us back up or whatever the case may be. Whereas I don't think that a lot of men, if they have it, they don't necessarily utilize it like they can, because we know that men don't often feel safe expressing their emotions, you know, to most people. And so I think what I would just say is that if you're feeling that way, if you're feeling angry, like it's really going to start with you and making a decision that you want to deal with that. So that you're not subconsciously having this resentment and bringing it into your relationships and making them unhealthy and potentially losing a good person. Like I have an ex like that and he lost me and he's always going to be sick about it, but there's nothing you can do at this point because you brought that into our relationship and you treated me in a manner like you didn't give a fuck, you know, really you did.
My $1 million question to myself every day, anytime I get triggered by something. Well, that movie was the first time for a long time that triggered me because I was like, I was that kid in one of the episodes, not to ruin it. But But I always, now that I have a 3-year-old black girl that I'm raising, I always ask myself, what I need to be that example for what she's gonna find out there, and that always helps brings me back home to go, yo, like, let me fix that, let me pray on that, let me fast on that, or whatever I'm feeling or whatever triggered me, because yeah, I have to be super responsible now. I don't want my daughter seeing like, I don't want to be that hypocritical father who ran game on their mama and have the nerve to try to step to a man that she trying to date. Like, bro, like, you did more damage to any
Right.
man that she ever met, and you got the nerve to step to me like you trying to size me up as her boyfriend, bro. Stop it. You know the stories I heard. But anyways, my point is that I think we just need to share the grace and remind each other that we're still healing. And I almost wonder that if we attempted to treat each other in that space of healing each other, we won't be so harsh. We won't be so dismissive. And we probably will understand each other a lot better. Not that we got to love each other, like in the sense of like you being with old boy, with Tory Lanez. But at the end of the day, you still, maybe if you would have extended like a little grace and just kind of hit him with a slow fade, he would have been all right with that. Now he wants you to die. He wants you to die. But I'm saying, like, but I get it. You reacted too, and we're all healing. But I want that for us. That's it.
Wrapping it up, first off, thank you to our tip for tatters. Thank you for chiming in. Great conversation. Thank you, Tiffany, Eddie, also my great co-host, Carolyn. Always, this platform is wonderful. I would say, at the end of the day, it really appears like men have it. We're in this societal state that it really appears that black men hate our female counterparts, and that's not really it. It's really about pain, hurt, and trauma, and that we're not willing to deal with it, whether it's us personally or being able to have that conversation with somebody who can protect that and walk us through it and talk us through it. It's tough, right? Love these days is tough. We're not loving ourselves first, which makes it much more difficult to love somebody else. And when you don't love yourself and then you feel as though you're being rejected by the opposite sex, that's when that hate and resentment starts to build and become something real, which is where we're at now. And it doesn't have to be like that. There are ways for all of us to be vulnerable. And that's what it really just takes. It just takes us to be vulnerable and really say, listen, you know what? I think I am the one for you, and this is how I can prove it. Just give me a chance. Right? That's a hard thing to say because it looks as if you're begging or trying to get somebody to like you, and it really isn't. It's really fighting for something that you believe in. And that's a hard thing to do, especially if you've never done it before. So in that spirit, I encourage our men to really sit back, look at who we are, what we are, how powerful we are, love ourselves, get to know ourselves, be comfortable with us, and then go after what we want. And women, our counterparts, same thing, but be open to the possibilities of sometimes. And just think about it, you may be missing the person that's right in front of you. You might be riding the train with them every day. You might work with them every day. You might see them walking past when you go into the office every day. And you're missing it because you're not simply paying attention. Or they're not in the package that you think they should be in for you. Let's expand our mind and really get to a point where, you know what? Let's get back to where we were open, even out in the open. That's a word.
Oh, God.
You've been preaching all night.
I'm believing at that. I'm believing at that. So listen, hey, yo, I love my tip and taps. I love my team. Tip and tap broadcast. We sign off for the night, baby. Y'all have a good night. Holla.
Bye.